Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, I'm super excited to unbox and review the Amcrest Dual-Lens 4K Panoramic Camera. This is a 180-degree camera. We're talking dual-lens technology, crisp 4K visuals, advanced AI features, and a whole lot more that sets it apart from the competition. If you've been eyeing a security upgrade for your home or business, stick around because I'm going to break down its features, put it to the test, and see if it lives up to the hype. The camera came well packed in a sleek, sturdy box. Nothing was bouncing around in transit, so big thumbs up to Amcrest for good packaging. Inside, you'll find everything you need: the camera itself, a mounting kit including screws and anchors, and the user manual. Right out of the box, the Amcrest 4K Panoramic Camera feels premium. It's compact yet solidly built with a clean white finish that will blend well in any setup. It's also IP67 weatherproof, so whether it's blazing heat or torrential rain, this little guy can handle it. Honestly, just holding it, you can feel how robust it is. This isn't your run-of-the-mill wide-angle camera that distorts everything at the edges. Amcrest uses two lenses working together to provide a seamless 180-degree panoramic view in 4K resolution at 15 frames per second. The stitching between lenses is incredibly smooth. You won't notice the stitching line. Another selling feature for the camera is the AI capabilities. It can detect humans, vehicles, and faces, and even creates customizable perimeter protection zones. For example, you can set it up to alert you when someone enters your driveway or moves near your front door. It can detect abandoned or missing objects and even track heat zones with heat mapping. I will review these settings at the UI portion of the video. However, because I use Frigate NVR that has AI built in, I did not get to test these features extensively. It can deliver color night vision up to 65 feet when there's ambient lighting, and its built-in microphone and speaker let you communicate with delivery drivers, scare off potential intruders, or just tell your pets to get off the couch, all through the Amcrest app. It can do cloud storage, micro SD up to 256 GB, or directly to an NVR like Frigate. I was able to get it set up simply by logging into the web interface. Everything is straightforward if you have worked with IP camera before. This does support RTSP and RTMP. Both are very common video delivery protocols. It does support two streams, a main and a sub stream. Both are capable of audio recording. There are a few audio formats that are supported. I decided to use AAC as that is what is supported by Frigate NVR. Here you can set your NTP server for automatic time sync. I decided to use my own gateway's NTP server as the VLAN of my IP camera does not allow access to the web. This is where you can add user for access to the camera. I created an additional user with basic view access only to increase security. You can set the camera to automatically restart on a schedule to avoid any potential issues of being on for too long. After configuring the camera, this is where you get the config settings file, so that you can just restore it later if you decided to reset the camera for any reason. This page has all the security features that the camera is equipped with. Since most of my security will be coming from my router, I did not configure anything here and just left it on default. If you're like me and doesn't let the camera access the internet, the automatic update function will not work and you will have to manually upgrade it here. If you bought this exact camera, I can tell you that this is the latest firmware released. If you do not have an NVR, then you will have to enable the P2P functionality. This will allow you to pair the Amcrest app on your phone with the camera using the QR code. Keep in mind that you will have to let the camera access the internet for the app to work. So make sure that you configure all the security features mentioned earlier to avoid any security risks. This is where you would set up your email accounts for the alerts notifications. However, since my NVR is handling most of that, I am leaving it disabled on the camera. This next portion is on the AI functionality of this camera. It is capable of setting up zones and any objects or persons that crosses the boundary will be registered. You can sound the alarm, send a notification, or simply turn on the LED to scare them off. The heat mapping feature is a handy analytics tool if you're using this for a business. Keep in mind that some of these AI tools will require onboard storage to work properly. You will need to install a micro SD if you plan on using some of these AI features. Most of the detections in AI are handled by MyForget in VR. The only reason I am setting up the boundary features on the camera itself is to trigger the floodlight LED within the camera when it detects a person or vehicle. I am not sounding the built-in alarm because it is quite loud and I do not want to annoy the neighbor every time a cat ran by. The camera picture can be controlled in this section. You can either have it automatically switch from low light black and white picture to color, or you can have it on color the entire time. If you are having issues with the stitching line, this is the location where you can tweak the installed height of camera to assist with that. You can select your compression protocol and encoding bitrate here. The only unusual thing I noticed here is that the bitrate is set at max 7,680 kilobits per sec. However, when you put it on custom, you can set it to a max of 16,000 kilobits per sec. I set it to the maximum allowed, and the file size is about 120 megabytes per minute of recording on H.265 compression. You can set the text to be displayed on the camera feed here. It's usually a good idea not to put too many labels on screen, as it could confuse NVR AI capabilities. It does also put additional processing stress on the camera, so keep that in mind when you are adding labels. You can configure the audio streams here. I recommend sticking with AAC encoding in the highest bitrate it supports. I also disabled the substream audio channel since I have no need for audio on it with my Frigate NVR. If you are using audio detection, it is probably best to leave both channels on. For comparison, here are some footage with my previous 4K 8-megapixel Anki camera. At $185 and possibly cheaper if you catch it on sale, the Amcrest Dual-Lens 4K camera offers incredible value. You're getting dual 4K lenses, advanced AI, color night vision, and multiple storage options, all wrapped up in a durable, weatherproof build. Whether you're upgrading your home security or need something reliable for a business, this camera is a no-brainer. And even though I did not use most of the AI features, I will give Amcrest kudos for having stuffed that many AI features into the camera. So, would I recommend the Amcrest Dual-Lens 4K? Absolutely. If you're looking for cutting-edge security without breaking the bank, this camera is an easy pick. I mentioned Frigate NVR a lot on this video, so if you are curious on what it is or want to see how I set up mine, let me know in the comment. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth reviews and tutorials. And as always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.